Your alarm clock went off at 6:30. Not your phone, an actual clock. Maybe it was one of those clunky plastic ones with the glowing red numbers or the kind with bells on top that rattled your nightstand. Either way, it jerked you awake with a sound you couldn't snooze away forever. You'd roll over, slap the button, and the house would be quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator downstairs and maybe your dad's coffee percolating in the kitchen. No notifications, no messages. Just you, the clock, and the faint morning light creeping through the curtains. That's how the day started back then. Simple, quiet, disconnected from everything except what was right in front of you, and honestly, it felt like enough. This video is a walk through one ordinary day before the digital age, from waking up to going to bed. When life moved slower, routines had more weight, and you couldn't be reached the moment you walked out the door. Drop a comment and tell me where you're from and if you remember days like this. And if this brings back memories, hit that like button so more people can take this trip back in time with us. The smell of coffee hit you before you even made it downstairs. That rich, slightly bitter smell that meant someone was already up. Your mom probably standing at the stove in her bathrobe, flipping eggs or buttering toast. The kitchen radio was on, tuned to the local AM station, playing the morning news or maybe some soft music between weather updates. The DJ's voice was friendly, familiar, like an old neighbor checking in. You'd sit at the table, the same spot you always sat, and pour cereal from a box that had been on that shelf for a week. The milk was cold, the spoon was metal, and the kitchen was warm from the stove. Your dad sat across from you with the newspaper spread open, one hand holding his mug, the other turning pages that crinkled softly. He'd read the headlines out loud sometimes. Sports scores, something about politics. You half listened, half zoned out, watching the clock on the wall tick forward. If you lived through those years, you know that feeling. Breakfast wasn't rushed. It wasn't something you grabbed on the way out the door. It was a moment, a routine, the whole family in one room before the day pulled everyone in different directions. Before you left, you'd grab your keys off the hook by the door, your backpack or your lunchbox, maybe a jacket. Your mom would say, "Be home by 6," and you'd nod, and that was it. No tracking, no texts, you just left. And once you walked out that door, you were gone, unreachable, free. The school bus smelled like vinyl seats and diesel exhaust. Kids piled in, backpacks thumping against the seats, voices loud and overlapping. You'd find a spot, slide over by the window, and watch the neighborhood roll by. Houses, trees, corner stores. The bus driver never said much, just drove, one hand on the wheel, eyes on the road. Inside the school, the hallways echoed. Lockers slammed, sneakers squeaked on linoleum. The chalkboard in your classroom was covered in white dust, the eraser sitting in the metal tray below, waiting for someone to clap it clean outside during recess. Your teacher wrote in big block letters, her handwriting looping across the board, and you copied it into your notebook, pen pressing into paper, hand cramping by the third page. If something exciting happened at lunch, you couldn't text your best friend about it. You just waited, held onto the story, turned it over in your head until the next day when you could finally say, "You won't believe what happened." And they'd lean in and you'd tell them, and they'd actually listen, because that's the only way the story existed, in your words, right there, face to face. At work, it wasn't much different. Offices were filled with the sound of typewriters clacking, phones ringing on desks, filing cabinets sliding open and shut. If someone needed you, they walked over to your desk or picked up the phone. No emails, no Slack messages, just voices and paper and the smell of coffee from the break room where people actually took breaks, standing around talking instead of scrolling. If you'd like a longer, deeper video just about this topic, tell me in the comments and write longer version. Now, let's go back to the story. When the school bell rang or the clock hit 5, that was it. You were done, you packed up, walked out, and the building couldn't reach you anymore. No emails waiting, no messages piling up. You were just gone off the grid. And that felt like freedom, even if you didn't think about it that way at the time. Kids walked home in groups, stopping at the corner store for candy or a soda. A quarter bought you something. 50 cents bought you a lot. You'd sit on the curb outside, unwrapping a Tootsie Roll or sipping from a glass bottle, sticky and cold in your hand, talking about nothing and everything until someone's mom honked from a station wagon and it was time to go. Adults sat in traffic, windows down if it was warm, radio playing whatever was on. The dashboard was simple: speedometer, fuel gauge, maybe an 8-track player or a cassette deck if the car was newer. No GPS, no traffic updates. You just drove the route you knew, and if there was a backup, you sat there and waited. That's all you could do. And here's the thing, once you left work or school, nobody expected you to keep working or studying. You were home, you were done. The separation was real. You didn't bring the office home with you on a laptop. You didn't check your email at night. The workday ended and so did the work. That boundary existed, solid and unquestioned. Dinner was at the table, not on the couch, not in front of a screen. At the table with plates and silverware and napkins, everyone in their usual spot. Someone said grace or someone just started eating and you talk about the day. What happened? What didn't? Little things that felt big because they were all you had to talk about. The TV was in the living room, a big boxy thing with dials you had to turn by hand. No remote for a long time. And the shows, they came on at specific times. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if you missed it, you missed it. No rewind, no on-demand, just the schedule printed in the TV guide that sat on the coffee table, pages dog-eared and circled in pen. The phone hung on the kitchen wall, a long curly cord stretching across the room so you could pace while you talked. One phone for the whole family. If someone called and you were on the line, they got a busy signal. They'd have to call back, try again later. And if someone called for you, your mom or dad would yell your name from the kitchen and you'd come running, heart jumping a little because phone calls felt important. You'd sit on the floor, back against the wall, twisting the cord around your finger, talking to your best friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, voice low so your parents wouldn't hear. And when your mom needed the phone, you'd have to hang up. I'll call you tomorrow. Click, dial tone, that was it. By 10 o'clock, the house was winding down. The TV went off. The lights in the kitchen flicked off one by one. Your parents would check the locks on the front door, turn off the porch light, and head upstairs. You'd brush your teeth at the bathroom sink, the mirror fogging up from the hot water, toothpaste foam in the basin, everything smelling like mint and soap. Your bedroom was yours. Posters on the walls, a lamp on the nightstand. Maybe a radio if you were lucky, the kind you could tune to different stations, spinning the dial until you found something good. You'd lie there in the dark, listening to music or a late-night DJ's voice, low and smooth, talking between songs like he was speaking just to you. If you're younger, maybe this sounds boring. No phone to scroll, no videos to watch, no notifications lighting up the dark. Just you, the quiet, and your own thoughts, but that's how it was. And honestly, it wasn't boring, it was peaceful. Your mind wandered, you thought about tomorrow, about things you wanted to do, about nothing at all. The clock on your nightstand glowed softly. The house settled with little creaks and sighs. Outside, the neighborhood was dark and still, and you close your eyes, pull the covers up, and drift off knowing that tomorrow would come and it would look a lot like today. Predictable, steady, disconnected, and somehow that felt just right. That was a day before the digital age, before phones buzzed in your pocket, before the world demanded your attention every second. Life moved slower, routines had weight, and when you left the house you really left. No one could reach you until you came home. It wasn't perfect, but it was simpler, more present, more real. Thanks for walking through this day with me. Tell me in the comments what surprised you most, what do you miss? And if you want the full, longer version of this story, let me know.